Hey, Alta families, welcome back for night 2 of Mr. Coley's virtual holiday story time. If you tuned in last night, thanks for coming back. Hope you liked last night's story, and I'm back tonight. As promised, I've got a great book called Esther's Hanukkah Disaster. Oh my. By Jane Sutton, illustrated by Andy Rowland. So I'm going to give a little background if you're not familiar about Hanukkah. Hanukkah is a Jewish holiday. It's an 8-day, I'm reading from the back of the book here, it's an 8-day festival of lights that celebrates the victory of the Maccabees over the mighty armies of the Syrian king Antiochus. According to legend, when the Maccabees came to restore the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, they found only one jug of pure oil, enough to keep their menorah lit for only one day. Their menorah is a holder that holds candles. They only had enough oil for one day, but a miracle happened and the oil burned for 8 days. So on each night of the holiday, those who celebrate Hanukkah, they add an additional candle to the menorah, they exchange gifts with each other, and they play the game of dreidel, which is a little four-sided die, like when you play dice, but it's only got 4 sides. It's kind of like a top that you can spin. And they eat foods fried in oil, like latkes. They're like potato pancakes. So that's a little background about Hanukkah. And let's jump right in to Esther's Hanukkah Disaster. All right. Oh dear, Esther exclaimed, looking at her calendar. Hanukkah starts tomorrow night, and I haven't bought a single present for any of my friends. Esther ate a big breakfast to give herself strength for a long day of shopping. So there's Esther. She's a big gorilla. And she looks at her calendar and is like, oh no, I haven't done any of my shopping. So she ate a big breakfast so she'd be well fed and had a lot of energy for her day of shopping so she can buy presents for her friends for Hanukkah. When she got to the jungle store, she headed straight for the clothing department. What unusual socks, thought Esther. I'll buy 2 pairs for my friend Sarah. Then she spotted a bright red turtleneck. I'll surprise my friend Zach with this, she declared. So she gets to the store and she's going through and she says, ooh, there we go. I'll get those socks for my friend Sarah, and I'll get this red turtleneck for my friend Zach. A sign in the sports department caught Esther's eye. It said, jogging suits on sale, marked down from $13 to only $12.99. A jogging suit will be perfect for my friend Josephine, she exclaimed. Look at that jogging suit there. And then it says, then Esther was excited to find a jungle gym kit. The box said, build your own jungle gym in just 10 minutes, or 10 days at the most. She grabbed one for her friend, Hal. A jungle gym kit for her friend, Hal. In the book department, Esther picked up a paperback called 100 Jokes About Elephants. Joke number 52 struck her so funny that she fell down laughing, so she bought it for her friend Oscar. So she went to the book department and got a book about joke book about elephants for her friend Oscar. The next night, after the sun went down, Esther placed 2 candles in her menorah. She lit the shamash candle and said the special blessing. Then she lit the candle for the first night of Hanukkah and said the other 2 blessings. She remembered the story of the Maccabees and the little jug of oil that lasted 8 days. When the candles had burned down, it was time for Esther to deliver her presents. She loaded them into a wheelbarrow and headed down the road. So there's Esther lighting the candles on her menorah. And now it's time to go deliver her presents. Her first stop was to Sarah's house. Sarah is a monkey. Esther gave Sarah the 2 pairs of socks. She was sure her friend would admire their unusual design. "Thank you," said Sarah. Then she burst out laughing and said, "These socks are big enough for an elephant." "Oops," said Esther. "I forgot to check the size." "Don't worry," said Sarah. "Presents are not the most important part of Hanukkah." Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at Sarah. Look how big those socks are for that little monkey. Then Sarah handed Esther her present, a bottle of Gorilla Vanilla perfume. Said Esther, dabbing behind her ears. "Now I smell wonderful." So she got her Gorilla Vanilla perfume from her friend Sarah. Next, Esther hurried to Zach's. When Zach saw the turtleneck, he frowned. "Thank you, Esther, but I never, ever wear red clothing. It's because of that terrible riddle." See what Esther is? Esther's a zebra. It says, "What riddle?" asked Esther. What's black and white and red all over?" Zach said with a sigh. "I don't know. What?" asked Esther. "An embarrassed zebra," muttered Zach. Esther roared with laughter. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I can see why you wouldn't ever want to wear red." "It's okay," said Zach. Then he gave Esther a year's membership in the Coconut of the Month Club. What a yummy present," said Esther. "Thank you." As Esther left Zach, she thought, "My Hanukkah presents are turning into a disaster." So there's the picture of her giving that red turtleneck to her friend Zach, even though he doesn't want to wear red because of that joke. And she got the Coconut of the Month Club. Then she went to see Josephine, who had just finished lighting her menorah. Josephine is a turtle. Esther gave Josephine a jogging suit. Wait, Josephine's a turtle, and she got a jogging suit. Thanks, Esther dear, but I can't jog," Josephine giggled. "I'm lucky if I can keep up with a fast crawl." Oh boy, yeah, jogging suit on a turtle. I've never seen a turtle jog before. "I forgot," said Esther sadly. "Not a problem," Josephine said. "Presents, schmesents." But Josephine had a special present for Esther, a costume of a human. Esther had always wanted to dress up as a human. Look at that. It's like humans sometimes have gorilla costumes, and she got a human costume so she could dress up as a human. On the way to Oscar's, Esther rolled her wheelbarrow more slowly. "All my gifts have been dreadful so far," she thought. "Surely Oscar will like 100 jokes about elephants." Oscar's an elephant. But Oscar told her gently that he thought the book was in very poor taste. "There should be a law against elephant jokes," he said. Yeah, he doesn't like the elephant jokes, probably because they may be making fun of him. Esther wasn't laughing anymore. In fact, she felt more like crying. "I'm sorry I hurt your feelings," she said. "I know you didn't mean to," he said. Then he gave Esther a book that was perfect for her. 1001 Ways to Serve Bananas. All right. Esther's final stop was at Hal's cave. Hal is a hyena. She had been so excited about the easy-to-put-together jungle gym kit. Now she was sure that something would be wrong with it too. But what? Soon she found out. "Hyenas can't climb jungle gyms like monkeys can," Hal told her. "Why didn't I think of that?" Esther said. Hal handed Esther an envelope with 2 tickets to the Gorilla Theater. "Happy Hanukkah!" Hal called to Esther as she was leaving. But Esther didn't feel happy. "No one liked my presents," she thought as she trudged home. Looking at all the fabulous Hanukkah gifts from her friends made her even more miserable. So you can see she's walking home, and all the gifts she got, none of them worked. None of them were good gifts for her friends. When Esther got back home, she made herself a cup of tea. Suddenly, she had an idea. After all, Hanukkah wasn't over yet. She took out notepaper and wrote invitations to her friends. "Please come to my house on the 8th night of Hanukkah. Make sure to bring the gift I gave you." So you can see she's writing out invitations for her friends to come on over to her house for a little party and to bring the gifts that Esther gave them. On the last night of Hanukkah, Esther and her friends gathered around her menorah. She lit the shamash candle and said the blessings. Her friends took turns lighting the other 8 candles. So there's a picture of the menorah with the one in the middle that you used to light the other 8. So they took turns lighting the candles. As they watched the candles burning, they sang Hanukkah songs and ate latkes and applesauce. "What a lovely party, Esther," said Josephine. "And the latkes were scrumptious," said Oscar. So they're having a good time at the party, eating some yummy latkes and applesauce. "But why did you ask us to bring the presents you gave us?" asked Zach. "I almost forgot," Esther said. "I know that my gifts to you were a total disaster, but now you can trade." Esther turned to Sarah. "The 2 pair of socks I bought you would fit an elephant," she said. Sarah smiled and handed the socks to Oscar. So those 2 socks, they were too big for him, for her, but perfect for Oscar. Then Esther called on Hal. "Remember when I gave you the Jungle Gym kit and you said you weren't a monkey?" "How could I forget?" said Hal, handing the kit to Sarah. So that Jungle Gym kit, not great for a hyena, but great for Sarah the monkey. She can climb it well. Zach was delighted to take the jogging suit from Josephine. "Thank goodness it's not red." So check it out. The little jogging suit that the turtle had is perfect for the zebra. When Hal started reading 100 jokes about elephants, he began laughing like a hyena, which of course he was. So now Hal the hyena, he gets the jokes. Finally, Zach gave Josephine the turtleneck, and Esther and Oscar helped her pull it over her shell. It fit perfectly. Look at Josephine in her little red turtleneck. When her guests had left, Esther smiled to herself. Her choice of presents hadn't been a disaster after all. They had brought her friends together, and Hanukkah had been a great success. She's sitting there enjoying her 1,000 ways to prepare bananas. The end. That was Esther's Hanukkah disaster. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for tuning in for night 2. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for night 3 of my virtual holiday story time, when I'm going to be reading a story about Kwanzaa. All right, boys and girls, moms and dads, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night.